So we've beaten Manchester City and Joe Linton scored the winner. It's a little bit early in the FM22 cycle to be writing off entirely as a buggy mess, but something's not right there. Welcome back to Newcastle, where things have gone very Newcastle so far. Those are the results. I've gone a smidge further than I said I would. Following Brentford and Wolves 1-1 apiece, we then drew with Leeds 1-1, beat Manchester City, Everton 0-0 away, and 2 3-0 losses on the bounce to Arsenal and Leeds in the league, and Brighton 3-1 in the league as well, after drawing with them 1-1 away from home in the Carabao Cup again, and beating them on penalties. The penalties in question for that match, 14-13. We went 13 penalties apiece without missing one, and then Mwepu missed his second attempt, and Shelvey buried his. So that happened, which means we do have West Ham in the Carabao Cup third round in what is bizarrely a mirror image of 3 games in a row that we've had in the league. Leeds, Brighton, West Ham. Leeds, Brighton, West Ham. It's odd, but really the main reason why I've not done Leeds and Brighton here is because those are the 2 games that immediately follow the January transfer window. So there's a good chance I'll want to focus on them then, which means we're playing West Ham and Watford now. Whilst we aren't progressing well in the Carabao Cup, the results in the league do mean that we are 18th. 6 points, although 9th has 9 points. So 1 win, we're back in the mix again. 1 win won't probably take us top half because of the goal difference situation. But 1 win at this stage of the season does make a massive difference. Brighton and Palace both have a win apiece. Brighton's against ourselves. Palace is against Everton, who was 6th. Then again, we have 1 win, and that was against Manchester City, who are top. Leeds are second, inexplicably, so losing to them doesn't feel quite as bad now. But yeah, Leeds are second. Liverpool, Man UFC, Cristiano Ronaldo with 8 goals, finding life in the Premier League slightly easier in-game than in real life. He started well in real life, has tailed off, of course. Otherwise, the only other major surprise is the fact Norwich have won games. Leeds Miller with 5 assists. Not only they're winning games, they're scoring goals. Not quite got that one down, have you, FM? I love you, Norwich, but you need to do something in real life. You need to do something. Well enough, it is actually Norwich versus Chelsea alongside this West Ham match. Let's hope for less than 7-0, for Norwich's sake. There's been a few minor tweaks to the overall system since we last met. Most of the tweaks have actually happened since the last game, since I looked into the data following the last 3-1 loss to Brighton, which in fairness, we should have probably won. We had 12 shots on target, we scored 1 goal, and it was from a set piece. So their goalkeeper did have a blinder of a day, 11 saves. But the news from that was the pressing forward that Wilson was doing, he was further behind on the pitch than the box-to-box somehow. For some reason, Longstaff's average position was about there, and then Wilson's was about here. And I don't really know why. Even weirder was the fact that central midfielder on attack, which was Shelvey in the last match, was way back here, effectively alongside the ball-winning midfielder. So I don't know what was going on there. The most advanced player on the pitch was the inverted winger on the left-hand side, which was last match, Ryan Fraser. So Maxman, just back from an injury, I'm going to play him because, quite frankly, we need him. So I've made a few tweaks in terms of roles last match. Callum Wilson is going to go to a complete forward. Willock, who is back from injury himself, is going to be an advanced playmaker in the hope that he's going to be further on the pitch than they have been in the past. And I think largely that's been the problem in terms of scoring goals. I reckon those players who should have been on attack duties at the front of the pitch have been far too far back for whatever reason. You may remember, of course, in the last episode, we scored a goal from a cross that was going to no one. There was no one in the box, but their player turned it in for an own goal, which was fortunate. But there was nobody in that box to receive that cross anyway. Hopefully, having Wilson on complete forward means he will stay further forward now. Richie's going to be doing inverted ring on the right-hand side, purely because we've run out of players. Amaran either took a knock on international duty or was just tired from international duty. We're just off the back of an international break. And I don't really have anyone else on that right-hand side, quite frankly. So Richie, as a left-footed player with winger capabilities, is going to do inverted ring on the right-hand side. I'm also doing this match unbalanced. I've come to the conclusion that being on attacking from the start of the match this year isn't as overpowered as it has been in previous games. Last year, you could just be attacking for the entire game, every game, and you would get more of a result out of the game because you were on attacking. I'm pretty certain the tunnel interview they'd asked me about Aaron playing football, despite the fact he's not even in the squad. Mark Noble's playing for West Ham. I know he stuck around for another season at West Ham, but I'm pretty certain he's not starting games. But Lewis to Sam Maximan, and quite frankly, in that Brighton game, I don't think I saw a highlight for us that wasn't the goal. Despite the fact we had 12 shots on target, I don't think I saw any of them apart from the goal. Wilson, which implies that the chances created weren't that good. Richie, on this right-hand side, pulls it back to Ben Rama. He's not on our team, Richie. I mean, I would be surprised, but I did watch Matt Ritchie do that twice against Spurs in the same movement, which led to one of their goals. Rice on the edge of the box, he's curled that, it's gone close. It was actually a chance for them in the end. I should say in the background, I did realise that whilst I can't technically sign anyone at the moment because we don't have a transfer budget and the board still hasn't given me a transfer budget for January, I suspect that will happen at some point before January. I'm hoping it does. Because I've only disabled the first transfer window. January should still be fine. No other highlights are happening right now. I realised I could probably go for a free agent, and I've got one who will get a work permit, but because of the signing on fee, I can't sign him. I need 67 grand, and I can't move the wage budget over for some reason. We're not going to win if we don't shoot. Like, one thing I'll say is we're not being absolutely destroyed like we have been in the past couple of games. Still 0-0 at 50 minutes. Still in this. Kufal. Not really sure why we're not playing in our home kit, to be honest, but Sam Maximan has got the ball. He hasn't got the ball. It's all gone. I mean, that was... Jared Bowen scored. I mean, you can see that, obviously, but a wonderful goal, says the text. I mean, was it? Fortunate is the word I'd give it. What happens here? Like, it hits Sam Maximan once, it goes back to Kufal, it hits Sam Maximan again, Fornals gets the ball somehow, and it works its way to Bowen. Sam Maximan had the possession 3 times there, but the game decided, no, you're not having it. I mean, Matt Ritchie has been predictably woeful, so I'm going to whack Joe Linton on that side as a deep line forward on support instead. We're going to go asymmetric, folks. Jamal Lewis taking the throw. Technically not got it to a player there, but we still have retained possession. Callum Wilson puts the ball into the box. Joe Linton is there. Willock for the knockdown. Willock for the knockdown. No, he's gone too far. Back to Manquillo. Manquillo puts the ball to the back post. Wilson's there. It's 1-1. And Manquillo is doing one of the instructions that has been added to his personal instructions since, which is aim for the back post, which I know is a thing that has worked in previous FMs, is aiming for that back post. It's usually wing back to the opposite inverted winger. But in this case, Callum Wilson's the one that's peeled off and headed the ball into the goal. 1-1 here at the West Ham Stadium, London Stadium. Don't know why I called it the West Ham Stadium there. Shandon Baptiste has scored for Brentford, which I know will please one of my followers, Sam Maximan. Sam Maximan, Sam Maximan had a surprising amount of space to do that, while Lewis is supremely tired at this stage of the game. Mildly unfortunate that Matt Ritchie was on the pitch and I've taken him off, so Paul Dummett's going to come on at left back. Sam Maximan, I mean, he was returning to fitness. Maybe we should take him off here. Ryan Fraser is on the bench. He's just back from injury. I probably shouldn't have expected him to play this entire match. Curtis Zuma's on 6.1. Fraser with a corner. Still Willock. I did realise when I loaded in my corner tactics from previous games that for some reason, the target of the corner itself wasn't the correct target. They were aiming for the edge of the box or edge of the 6-yard box instead of the near post is what it should have been. Since I put it on near post, I've seen far more corner highlights. What is going on here? And we've scored from a corner, actually, most notably as well. The goal against Brighton was from the corner. Wilson has been played through here. It is a highlight for us in the end, I think. And Wilson should have done better. Wilson's had chances in this game, which is more than I can say for the previous 3 Premier League games. Cresswell with a corner. Please don't concede a corner. He's hit the post. Not this late on. Manquillo with the back post has headed it to Joel Linton. And highlight over. 4 minutes of injury time. Oh, God, there's a set piece. Cresswell on it. Manquillo heads it forward. Back to Cresswell. Bowen's in all of the space. I'll be surprised if this one counts. I think it's counting, though, because it's not taken it off West Ham yet. I don't know how this works in this year's game. Yeah, it is allowed, so okay. It will keep it on the sheet until it removes it, because I know sometimes they disallow a goal and it gets overturned, but the big notice saying allowed doesn't come up and it stays on the score sheet. A little bit awkward knowing if they have scored or not. Joe Linton ended the match on a 7 after coming on. Don't tell me asymmetric is the way forward here. Trust the process. They look inspired and motivated. It's a 1-1 away. It's not a loss, which has stopped the rot, at the very least. I think may have taken us out of the bottom 3. It has not, because Brentford equalised as well. Of course, thanks to Shandon Baptiste. Harry Maguire's own goal gave Manchester City a win in the Manchester derby. Oh dear, Harry. That's the worst performance I've seen since I had to go to my son's school play. We offered nothing out there. We scored a goal and we actually had chances, Kevin. Did you not watch the match against Leeds where we did literally sod all? Right, raises Lewis' fitness concern, really? But we might as well stay in London or just go a little bit out of London because Watford next away from home as well. That seemed to work and it would probably help. It would probably help the midfielder situation because when there's injuries, I am running low on midfielders. Because if I offer a deep line forward there, I could switch Willock to a Mazzala to operate in that space behind them. And I could do that. Because if I do this, I have a second target for those crosses, particularly for those far post crosses, which Sam Maximan / whoever's over there should be doing. And then switching Willock to Mazzala here allows him to operate in this space. And it just sort of opens up the team. We've got the overlapping Manquillo at right back. Maybe I'll only do overlaps on the right-hand side. But then again, I'll probably want the overlaps on the left-hand side, so then they've got a second option for the crosses. Okay, we'll try asymmetric for the time being. Obviously not Matt Ritchie. Joel Linton works in that respect. Although I think, is Joel Linton left-footed? No, he is right-footed. Okay, just plays on the left quite a lot. I can't believe we're discussing giving Joel Linton a starting role. By choice. We had stronger momentum in that game. This is a new metric for this year's game, is momentum. And it's fascinating that we were more dominant in this game than we have been in past ones. And bear in mind, I've played all the previous games on attacking, because that's what I know, and that's what I know worked best previously. Did this entire match unbalanced, and this is what happened. And we really should have scored there, apparently, which was one of the Callum Wilson chances, I'm pretty certain. Apparently this Watford team isn't gelling. Crystal Palace are beating the Norwich in this game world, as Arsenal, a London team, beat them 7-0. Poor Patrick Vieira. Now see, this is the issue. I need £65,000. I thought it was 67, I don't know why. I need £65,000. We have a transfer budget of -£1 because that's what the game does when you disable the transfer window. But it's so frustrating. All that is the agent fee and his signing fee, and I can't afford it. Like, he's a free agent after the transfer window shut. This is after the transfer window. I should have a budget for January at this point. I should be able to work on deals. In the real world, Newcastle will definitely be working on deals for January now. They've got the money. They'll be working out deals for when the window opens. I should be able to do that right now. But for the time being, I have to delay this because I don't have £65,000. Although I will just check one thing, and that's whether or not I can move scouting budget into the transfer budget. I cannot. I know I can move wage budget for whatever reason, but I did wonder if they're giving me an oversight of scouting budget. But no, I've got to delay this in the hope that for some reason they decide to give me the budgets now, or I somehow sell a player. So then the lineup against Watford, who of course will be lining up with former Newcastle player Sissoko in their midfield, will be Dubravka in goal, Lewis, Lascelles, Cher. Kieran Clark's taken an injury, a few weeks for him. Kraft at right back, Hayden, Longstaff and Willock in the midfield, Sam Maximan on left and Wilson and Joel Linton up front. We're going to try it for an entire match. Let's see what happens. Don't really understand how some of these aren't completely familiar with their roles yet, particularly Hayden, who's only played there. Josh King in the Watford lineup, of course, put Everton to the sword at the weekend. Although lining up on the left-hand side of that midfield with Dennis on the right-hand side of the midfield. I don't really understand that, considering Ismaila Sarr is the winger, really. They're lining up with two strikers on the sides, which is slightly odd. But 20 minutes gone in this game, and there's not really been much to talk about. Highlight that begins with a throw for Watford. King gives it back to Messina, who gives it back to King. Should have scored, Sarr there. He's at the post. I was basically just going to sigh and go, oh no, they've scored, but Sarr managed to miss that. Thankfully for us. That was a nailed-on goal that somehow did not go in. Right now, we're contriving to not really do much. Though Sam Maximan with a free kick whips the ball into no one at all. Ozan Tufan will come forward with it. I don't understand how there was nobody in the box there, really, to receive that. That was absolutely shocking. And once again, the through ball leaves our defenders in the dust. This might be a problem in the game engine. I don't know. It seems to be happening a lot already. It might just be slow defenders, but... And Sarr, of course, is rapid, but this seems to be happening a lot no matter who the opponents are. I've even brought back the defensive line, I'm pretty certain. Yeah, the defensive line's even been brought back since last time we met, and it's still happening. Right, so I'm going to bring Joel Linton off. He's been playing well, but I'm just going to put Sam Maximan as the false nine on the right-hand side now. I've made it false nine because he likes that. And Ryan Fraser's going to come on the left. I do understand that inverted winger plus this might not work. This might work better with this a straight-up winger on the left, but I am just very close to going 4-3-3 full stop and leaving it like that. Cher on the ball. Well, I could do it with a left-footed striker if I'm going to go 4-3-3, though, because everyone is right-footed. Wilson should have scored. Sam Maximan should have scored, but their positioning was woeful, and Hayden's has wiped out Sarr. Is he about to be booked? Because he's going to miss the next game if he gets booked. He's been booked. Dennis whips the ball in for a corner. Serralto at the back post. Not far away, just as the text said. Kraft's being pathetic. I stopped playing Manquillo because Manquillo was being rubbish, and now Kraft's being rubbish. We've had the better XG here. Great. Manquillo and Shelvey on for Hayden and Kraft. I've switched Shelvey up to a deep line playmaker as well, rather than ball winner. Just want to see if having a playmakery type in that midfield will help create chances going forward, because we don't really have a playmaker on the pitch. Although, we don't have anything on the pitch right now, apparently, because we're doing sod all. But there's positive signs from the XG there. Fraser's come on and got a 7.1 somehow. We just been let down by one defensive error from Lascelles, I think, effectively, which allowed Sarr through there. But we absolutely did not deserve that. I know Saint-Maximin isn't at full fitness either, so I know that went towards his poor performance today. But we're still only 3 points away from 12th, which is exactly the same position we were in, really, from when we started this episode. 1 point from 2 games isn't great, and we're going to play West Ham away again now. Just stayed in London for 2 weeks. I don't know why we've travelled at all. We could have given Southampton a lift on the way back. I forgot that Lewis needed a rest there, actually. That's not great form. I told you that you get to watch me suffer for half a season. I was about to say the good news is you get to see Liverpool and Spurs next time around. Probably not for me, but if this is what's happening against teams that we should be getting results against, God knows what's happening against Liverpool and Spurs. I know I said last time I would be focusing on those teams around us for this first season, but when the game puts Liverpool and Spurs next to each other, you got to really do that. Thank you for watching. If you're enjoying watching this struggle so far, like, comment, subscribe, help the algorithm out. But until next time, thank you for watching. Ta-ra.